All right, we are live on YouTube. Welcome to Navigating the Modern World with Eli. Glad you could all join me here today for another very special impromptu show. I really wish that I didn't have to keep doing these correcting the record streams, but it is what it is. One group of people, primarily led by a person that I am suing out here for defamation of character and many other causes of action in a circuit civil case, continues to spin false narratives about me, continues to massively commercially exploit me, massively abuse my copyright. That will be addressed in federal copyright court once I receive some certificates from the U.S. Copyright Office, the U.S. Library of Congress. I should be getting those within a few months. We're going to handle that there. And there's just a lot of stuff going on. He has people that are acting in concert with him that are continuing to spread more false statements as facts. And I just have to keep correcting the record. And the people are saying, well, why are you talking about your case during active litigation? Because I'm not going to allow people to ruin my reputation any more than they already have with these false statements as facts, while we wait for the court hearings to happen and we wait for the case to progress. But before we get to all of that, let me first of all make sure that everything's rolling smoothly. Looks like the back end of YouTube is rolling well. Let me also make sure that the YouTube notification has gone out. Looks like it has. Let me do a sound check. There's just a lot of stuff going on. He has people that are acting in concert with him that are continuing to spread more. All right, all is rolling well. The very first person here is my lovely lady Dawn. Respectfully, maturely, and professionally is in the house. She says, hey there. Hello, babe. How are you? Long time no see, even though you're right in the other room. All right. So let's just go ahead and get right to it. We have a lot to discuss. It took me a little bit of time to prep for this show. I wanted to make sure that I got all of my facts straight, unlike the other people that have been misstating me. That's a word I'm using to say the least. I mean, I'm saying it as a misstatement is an understatement, but you get the point, right? So the topic of this show is using ChatGPT and transcripts to defame me, question mark, plus correcting the record again with 3 exclamation points. One more time. Today's topic is using ChatGPT and transcripts to defame me, plus correcting the record again. It doesn't surprise me what the defendant in my circuit civil case and people acting in concert with him continue to do to try to paint me in a false light to their audience that typically only supports them at a great level when they're talking about me in a negative way. So there's a bunch to go over. I've got 16 pages here to go over. Hopefully I can get this done in a couple of hours and get a walk-in here later on this, later on this afternoon or early evening here on GNA2, Genuine Live Personal Development. So let's just go ahead and get right to it. Same person in ODN's chat from earlier. Hey, Lewis, how are you doing? Welcome to the show. It's great to see you here. So let's start it off by talking about something I believe was mentioned on the defendant's stream from yesterday. Let's start off by responding to another misunderstanding of the legal system by the defendant. He is saying because in a previous case with someone that he acts in concert with out here, named Miss T, in the previous case where I, was trying to get a harassment order on Miss T here in San Mateo County in California, where I live in the San Francisco Bay Area. I tried to mention that somebody she was on a YouTube panel with that was harassing me was similar to acting in concert. That's not what I was trying to say, but anyway, I think that's the example that was being used. He's also saying that because that case was dismissed with prejudice, that in the circuit civil case in Florida with him, the defendant, he's now saying that acting in concert is not going to happen in the same way as the harassment case. Civil harassment cases and stalking injunctions are different, where they don't deal with people acting in concert. That's only in circuit civil cases, right? I asked this to ChatGPT directly. In harassment and stalking cases, it is just about the petitioner and the respondent, right? And ChatGPT responded and said, yes, and this is an important place where the defendant is misleading his audience by mixing two totally different legal systems. Here's the clean, court-accurate way to correct the record. All right, let's do it. Number one, the defendant is falsely merging two unrelated types of cases. He is taking a California civil harassment / stalking injunction and a Florida circuit civil lawsuit. Those are two totally different cases and case types, and pretending a ruling in one controls the other. That is legally wrong. They are governed by different statutes, different standards, and different purposes. Give me a second here. Number two, what a harassment or stalking injunction actually is. A civil harassment or stalking injunction is a summary, fast, emergency style, focused only on one respondent's conduct towards one petitioner, not designed to litigate multi-party coordination. It asks one question. Has this specific has this specific respondent engaged in conduct that legally qualifies as harassment or stalking towards this petitioner? That's it. That's all they're there for. The court is not determining conspiracies. They're not determining networks. They're not determining acting in concert liability or joint enterprise. Those concepts do not exist in that procedural framework. It is a protective order, not a liability case. A circuit civil case is a liability case. Number three, what acting in concert actually belongs to? Acting in concert is a civil liability doctrine, not a restraining order concept. It belongs to circuit civil court here in California. That's in Florida. Here in California, we call it civil unlimited cases. Same thing. They just call it differently in different states. It's a full-blown civil case, not just a stalking or harassment injunction hearing. It belongs to circuit civil court, tort law, civil conspiracy, aiding and abetting, joint, tortfeasors, vicarious liability. Those doctrines answer, did multiple people coordinate, encourage, assist, or jointly participate in unlawful conduct? That question cannot even be decided in a harassment injunction proceeding. Why? There is no discovery, no co-defendants, no appointment of liability, no conspiracy findings. A harassment case has one function and one function only. Was the person harassed, stalked, or not? Bottom line. End of story. Number 4, why Ms. T's prior injunction case is legally irrelevant to the defendant's argument. When a harassment or stalking case is dismissed, it means only this: the court did not find sufficient proof at that moment to issue a restraining order against that named respondent. It does not mean no one else acted with them. It does not mean no coordination occurred. It does not mean no civil liability exists. It does not mean no future claims are barred, and it does not mean no later case can consider joint conduct. It is not a finding of innocence, and it is not preclusion for tort litigation. Let's see here. Hey, Odian, how are you doing? Welcome to the show. Again, welcome, Lewis, and my lovely lady, Dawn. It's all good. Welcome, GLM. Flex says hi as well. Welcome, everyone. Okay. Number 5, why the defendant's with prejudice argument fails. Even if a harassment injunction is dismissed with prejudice, that only bars another harassment injunction on the same facts. It does not bar defamation, civil conspiracy, aiding and abetting, unfair competition, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and acting in concert liability. Those are different causes of action in a different court. One more time, Mr. Defendant and Ms. T acting in concert with the defendant. Those are different causes of action in a different court. Number 6, why the defendant is pushing this narrative? Because acting in concert is exactly what exposes sock accounts, panel coordination, donation funneling, narrative amplifications, and harassment networks. And he wants his audience to believe a judge already rejected that. They didn't, because they were never allowed to decide it. The harassment and stalking injunction cases and that court is like a lower court. It's a specific court just for that and nothing else. They're not allowed to adjudicate what I'm suing for: malicious prosecution, abuse of process, defamation of character, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. Number 7, the one sentence truth. A civil harassment or stalking injunction only evaluates one respondent's behavior for a protective order. It does not and cannot decide multi-party coordination or acting in concert liability, which is handled in circuit civil court. That ends the argument. The defendant isn't just wrong, he is misrepresenting how the court system works to give his audience false confidence. This is funny. I'm correcting the record. He's selling legal mythology. That's funny. While I'm correcting the record, he's trying to sell his audience and YouTube legal mythology. All right, next, let's talk about one of the most questionable videos in the history of this community, and a lot of people are here for this. This is where this community has surrounded me unwillingly for years. I never wanted to be a part of this community. I've been trying to get away from them for years, and they just haven't been able to let go, so that's why we're in court. This is the defendant talking about his family on another creator. This is the defendant talking about his family on another creator's panel about 5 to 6 years ago. And before I get to that, let me check out the chat here real quick. Hey, Tia, how are you doing? Welcome to the show. Great to see you here. Number 1, what that clip of the defendant actually is. So, Mr. Defendant, this is going to speak mountains here because you've been preaching freedom of speech, and if you put it out there publicly, then people can do commentary on it, criticism, etc., right? What was in the video is the defendant voluntarily discussing his parents' relationship, his mother's dating, an open relationship, and public speculation about it. Yeah, on Lauren's stream. Remember that? We all have the clip, even though you've struck it down many times or you've gotten it taken down. He says it is not a secret. He said it on multiple channels. He's discussed it publicly since 2018. That makes it self-published personal information. When someone publicly discloses personal information about themselves or their family on a public live stream, commentary on that disclosure is not stalking, is not harassment, and is not invasion of privacy. It is commentary on what he put into the public domain himself. And here's the real kicker. He's going to love this. That's why Judge Bowie, the judge in the stalking case in the same courthouse in Florida that the defendant took me to try to get a stalking petition on me, and he claimed that I sexually harassed his mother, and I did not. That's why Judge Bowie dismissed the stalking petition when you explained the context, because you were not inventing it. You were not digging into private records. You were not harassing him. You were referencing his own public statements. You were referencing his own public statements. Number two, why the defendant's sexual harassment narrative collapses. This guy has a great tactic in his eyes, right? It won't work with me, and it won't work with most people that are normal and reasonable. The defendant's tactic is he says these things about his family on stream. Sorry, he says sexual things about his family on stream. Others comment on what he said. He reframes it as sexual harassment. So let me get this straight. He talks about this publicly because somebody found a dating profile of his mother, and they were talking about it. It's public information, right? So he felt the need to go and clear it up. No problem. But the moment that he publicly started talking about it, that opens the door to other stuff. We're going to get to that. So again, the defendant's tactic is, he says these things about his family on stream. Others comment on what he said. He reframes it as sexual harassment. That doesn't work legally, sir. You are allowed to quote him, reference his own public statements, discuss them, and criticize them. You are not required to pretend he didn't say them. That is not stalking or harassment. It is media commentary. So at this point, let's talk about my malicious prosecution cause of action on my current circuit civil case against the defendant. Because it makes sense to do so now, right? This is exactly why I sued the defendant for malicious prosecution as a separate cause of action. He didn't just talk. He escalated it into a stalking case based on a false and damaging accusation that I sexually harassed his mother. In my view, that accusation is defamatory per se. It is defamation per se. And it was also used as the foundation to weaponize the court process against me. That stalking case was dismissed, and I've alleged in my complaint that the filing itself was wrongful, not a good faith attempt to protect anyone, but a misuse of the system to smear me and chill my speech. So in essence, he was trying to silence me, and now, he's basically claiming that I'm trying to silence him by filing this anti-SLAPP and motion to dismiss within the circuit civil case I filed on him. And that hearing is going to happen in April. And he continues to spin narratives about the January 9th hearing and what actually happened. I already debunked that on my community wall yesterday. I don't need to keep debunking every single little thing this guy does. I think most of you already get the hint, right? Number 3. Did I even get that right? Yes. Why Ms. T and the defendant's outrage is selective. This is the double standard you're seeing. The defendant publicly discusses intimate family matters on his own streams, but claims harassment when others reference his own statements. That's not how speech law works, sir. And you're one that's a big proponent of that, but you're also a big hypocrite when it comes to, people responding to things that are maybe not that favorable to you, but you put them out there yourself. And when we respond, all we're doing is stating what you said, right? Public figure plus self-disclosure equals public commentary allowed. And that's why, we'll get to that. Number 4. The defendant has publicly talked for years about his parents' relationship and his mother's dating on live streams. Those clips still exist. When I referenced that context in court, the judge dismissed the stalking claim because it was based on his own public statements. This guy takes me to court, and he's still saying to this day, he's accusing me to this day, which makes it defamatory now in the circuit civil case, along with malicious prosecution, right? He's still saying I'm sexually harassing his mother, and I'm not. I'm absolutely not. Judge Bowie was not buying this. You don't get to say things on camera for years and then accuse people of harassment for acknowledging what you yourself put into the public record. A sharper way to say this: talking about someone's own public statement is not stalking. It is not harassment. It is commentary. And the court already recognized that. Now, his case was dismissed without prejudice. He could file again if he wants to. He's been threatening to file. At least he's been talking like that. And he hasn't filed yet. If he wants to file again, the same thing will happen again. But he can do what he wants. But he's just he's just running his mouth. That's all. Right? Number 5, why this matters right now. Miss T, the lady that he's acting in concert with, is trying to recycle the same trick. Take sexual content another creator or the defendant said and attribute it to me and call it harassment or defamation. Nice try, Miss T. You're trying to paint me as me saying stuff that I never said, or you've taken me way out of context, right? So again, Miss T's trying to recycle the same trick. Take sexual content another creator or the defendant said and attribute it to me when I never said anything, like what she claims that I said, and call it harassment or defamation. It already failed in court once. It will fail again. I am not afraid of facts. What I'm afraid of is false attribution. And that's exactly the line I keep holding. Now, we're going to have more to talk about Miss T here in a little bit, okay? I'm actually getting through this pretty quickly here. I might take a quick break here earlier because I'm getting through this much quicker. Yeah, you're right, Odie, and he likes to make up a lot of stuff. It's his content engine, man. It's his content engine. Well, ODN, how can he blame Lauren? He popped on Lauren's panel willingly. Lauren didn't force him on there. Regardless of what we think about Lauren or anyone else, we can't blame Lauren for him wanting to pop on a panel and talk about it. He probably did it because it was the only available live stream at that point, and he didn't feel like going live himself, right? It's not her fault at all. Listen, I'm not that happy with Lauren right now currently, but hey, right is right and wrong is wrong. This has nothing to do with Lauren or the other guy that was on that stream. Wasn't that the Louisiana man that was on there as well? Anyway. Let's now talk about two postings about what the defendant did today by recruiting someone from GLM's team or, her chat to join the smear campaign. This is what he's done all along. Posting 1, he tagged this guy and part of his name is Farmer. Let's just call him Farmer. And then they're calling me deficient, malformed, lib, T-A-R-D brain. I've been called that many times. I'm sure I'll be called that plenty more. I'm a slight left liberal, more so down the middle. I care about what's right. I care about getting along with people. But you want to call me that? Whatever, right? It just shows your character, right? What the defendant is doing, this is going to be very interesting to all of you, especially if you've been around for a while. Recruitment plus reward. He tags someone in his community post from GLM's chat who challenged you. Then he praises them and insults you. This is how he siphons challengers into his camp. Same thing he's done to me. Remember that, ODN? That's exactly what this guy has done. He goes around, he follows people, he looks for people that he can tag and bring over to his side and get them involved into the smear campaign camp, right? Escalation without discussion. No facts, just dehumanizing political slurs and ad hominem attacks. Wow, you guys are amazing. You guys are really upsetting me. You guys are really pissing me off. You guys are really, really hurting me bad, right? Well, you are hurting me in different ways, and we're handling that in court. But honestly, your words, they don't mean shit to me. Honestly, they don't. So what's worth correcting? Not much factually. There's no substance there. It's mostly insult. Correcting insults often gives them oxygen. That's what ChatGPT says. I agree. That's all they have. When they have nothing of substance to respond to my substance, because if they do, it'll expose them more, right? Then they resort to insults, right? Wow, you're so special. It's so difficult to insult people, isn't it? Wow. You know, I'm being sarcastic about that, right? The value here is pattern proof. He finds a challenger in another stream, tags them in a community posting, praises them, love bombs them. You're the love bomb master, sir. You're the love bomb king, sir. And turns it into a recruitment post. You didn't think I knew you were going to recruit that guy? Have at it, sir. I wouldn't want someone like that, on my team, sir, but hey, whatever. There was that song, I don't want no scrub. A scrub is a... Never mind. Okay. This is the pattern. He goes into other spaces, finds a challenger, and then spotlights them to recruit them into a dog pile. It is not debate, it is audience mobilization. Now, in posting 2, he tags this guy again, this farmer guy, and he screenshots one of his chat messages from GLM's chat. And I'm paraphrasing. He says he doesn't have a case and calls me a racist, lib, T-A-R-D. What the defendant is doing, this is the most important one here. 1, cross-platform extraction. Takes a comment from GLM's chat and repackages it as evidence. Number 2, authority laundering. I know a lot about the law. That's what this guy's saying. Sir, you act like you don't know a thing, in my opinion. He doesn't have a case, period. That's not analysis, it's bravado. Performance bravado. Performance bravado. Wow. Good for you. Number 3, group conversion. He praises the newcomer, they praise him back, and suddenly they're living for this, becoming a repeat participant. Wow. Number 4, preemptive inoculation. He teaches the newcomer the script. Eli threatens everyone legally just for talking. This is meant to make you look abusive for using courts. And he's also trying to paint me as someone trying to silence people's freedom of speech, which is not true. I'm just trying to stop false statements as fact, also known as defamation of character. Identity smear escalation. The racist lib word, right? Hates his own kind. No, I don't hate my own kind. I don't hate my own kind. I'll correct that in a little bit. That is not a harmless insult. It is an attempt to brand you with a serious social stigma. Hey, Sandra, how are you doing? Welcome to the show. 1 minute delay between what I say and what goes out. So what is worth correcting? What is the highest value? Okay, there are 4 corrections that matter. A, the no case period claim. This is a non-lawyer making an absolute legal conclusion based on a little bit he heard. The correction is a random commenter saying you don't have a case, period, isn't legal analysis. It's a vibe. Courts decide cases based on pleadings, evidence, and law, not drive-by comments in the chat. B, he's a racist. Calling me a racist is a false label used to poison the well. It is not supported by evidence. It is just a smear word to justify harassment. C, he threatens everyone legally. No, only people that violate me legally, sir. This frames your legitimate litigation as intimidation. Correction. It is due process. Holding people accountable through lawful filings is not threatening. It is due process. If someone makes claims about me, I respond through proper channels, not rage streams. I'm not raging. I'm just correcting the record in the meantime, because we all know the wheels of justice turn slowly. And I'm not going to sit around and let these people destroy my reputation until it's time for these hearings to come around. D, the parent angle plus the Holly L comment. Holly L says, you brought up his parents for no reason. The defendant replies, who cares about my parents? And he says that they're not on the platform. Okay. Well, you did bring them on the platform a couple of times. I have those videos. So if that's ever questioned, you have shown your mom and your dad on video. Once you did that, they're now public. You did that. Not them, you. You can't blame others for your mistakes, sir. That's not the way it works. This is where your earlier video of the defendant matters. The correction isn't, I attacked his parents. My correction is, he has publicly discussed his own parents' relationship dynamics on streams for years. Referring to someone's own public statements is not harassment. What's happening here is selective outrage. It is fine when he lays it. It is fine when he says it, but harassment when anyone references it. One more time. What's happening here is selective outrage. It is fine when he says it, but harassment when anyone references it, right? Sounds a bit hypocritical, doesn't it? The deeper pattern across both posts. Hey, Lewis, welcome back. Thank you to the 89 people that are here right now. A lot of people are interested in this. One, a coordinated label plus recruit plus dogpile system. Okay. Normalize a degrading label and invite escalation. That's one. Two, spotlight and reward a challenger from another stream. Three, convert that challenger into an ally and build a mini mob around them. I'm not even using my digital round of applause, sir. I'm giving you a real round of applause, sir. You are an incredible content creator. Like, wow, your content is amazing. This is exactly the system you've been describing. So he basically goes from outrage, that turns it into engagement, then that prepares him to go live, then that gives him the ability to monetize on that live stream, and then repeat. Lather, rinse, repeat. Outrage, then engagement, then go live, then monetize, then repeat, right? That's pretty consistent, right? Number two, plausible deniability. That's what they all want to use now, right? Now that the circuit court's involved, they all want plausible deniability, right? The defendant does it by calling it opinion. That's funny. Letting commenters say the nastier factual stuff, then laughing and reacting. So you know what's defamatory, so you let people in your chat comment with defamatory statements, and then you just heart their comments or just, put smiley emojis and stuff like that, and you think that shields you. And then you try to flag people on my channel and other channels. You try to flag their comments that are far less nasty than the stuff that, your people are putting out, right? Number 3, the purpose of tagging the farmer person, right? It is a message to anyone who challenges you publicly. If you challenge Eli, I'll platform you and reward you. That creates a pipeline of new attackers. So the defendant is now once again in recruitment mode because his whole narrative of the Eli thing that he's been doing for 6+ years is collapsing in real time. So now he's going back to the drawing board and creating a pipeline of new attackers. Well, this is proof of one you just did today. So this is factual. This is absolutely true. It happened in real time. And ChatGPT says, if I do nothing else, correct these 3. 1, you have no case, period. That's a random chatter, and it doesn't equal legal ruling. Number 2, the racist label, false smear / poison the well. That speaks for itself. Number 3, Eli threatens everyone legally. Reframe as lawful filings and due process. That's it. The defendant's posts are the same playbook. Normalize a degrading label, recruit a challenger from someone else's stream, and then dogpile with absolutist claims like he has no case, period, and smear labels like racist. That's not debate. It's audience mobilization. A random chat commenter is not a judge, and screenshots of chat are not legal rulings. If someone wants to argue the merits, they can do it in a court. They can do it in court filings, not in a pylon built for clicks. He cares more about YouTube optics than the court case. Isn't it becoming more and more obvious to you folks every day, right? All right. So we're a little more than halfway through, and we are now at 43 minutes. I'm going to step away and take a quick break here. Let me see. The people are just having a good time chatting in the chat. All right, so let me cue up some royalty-free YouTube music. Give me just a second here. Let me see here. All right, music is all queued up. I'm going to step away for a quick break, and I will see you all on the flip side. Stick around. We'll be right back. All right. We are back live. And we are just going to scratch it and get right back down to business. Welcome back to Navigating the Modern World with Eli. Glad you could all join me here today. Very interesting. It's been a very interesting show. A lot of interesting things have been going on lately. I went over to check out the community wall of the defendant during the break, and he is massively triggered. He wrote very long community postings. We'll address those here, paraphrase style. We're going to paraphrase it, right? And we're going to get to that in just a second, but I just want to make sure. Let me check out the chat real quick first. Everyone is doing well. We've got 70 people in the box. Thank you so much for being here. Let me just make sure that everything is rolling smoothly. Navigating the modern world with Eli. Glad you all join me here today. All right, we're good. We are so good. Let's address this in real time, okay? Let's see. So he's talking about me can't get any dumber than I already am, right? Yeah, and I can give individual permission on individual streams. I did say that last night. If you would like to review that stream from yesterday and answer all of the questions, every single one, even, your motive on why you do what you do and all that, go right ahead. I don't think you're going to do it because it's not going to make you look good to respond to something you're trying to avoid your audience from figuring out. All you would be doing is confirming everything that I've already put out there in a factual way, right? Let's see here. Yeah, no, you what you did last night was you took a portion of my my Walking with Purpose stream. You played it at 2-speed and you spread it over a 90-minute period, and you made me the product of your show. You've made me the product of your show. If you want to do fair, unless I give you permission to use the whole thing, which on that one I didn't, the only one I've given you permission at this point is the in-studio stream from yesterday, and have at it. But I didn't give you permission for that one at all. You can do it under fair use, but you basically turned it into a watch party. Okay? Now, if I authorize you to do that, that's my choice. That's just the way it works, sir. Yeah, he's really triggered about everything here. Let's see. No, I'm not going to. Hey, if you want to use that stream from yesterday and you want to respond to it, every single thing that was stated, go right ahead. Go right ahead. That's the only one. Now, here's the second posting that was literally like about 40 minutes after the first one. This is like 11 minutes ago. So, he's saying, and I'm paraphrasing, I'm bringing up things that he's publicly talked about in the past, right? And then he says that if that's the case, paraphrased, talking about Dawn's family, her DUIs, her weird sexual quirks. What weird sexual quirks? If she stated something publicly on a stream that I can verify, you have the right to talk about it. If you take things out of context, then that could be defamatory, right? My various dramas regarding her family. Yes, I did call her daughter Cashley. I did back then. What's the big deal? I don't call her that anymore, but I'm not denying that I said that. I've talked about, you know, um, Don and Ashley not talking in the past. Haven't talked about it in a while. What's the big deal? You mentioned my bankruptcies. Yes, I've talked about that. That's public record. That's my record right there. I had a bankruptcy I filed like 14, 15 years ago or something like that. It got removed off my record and my credit's perfect again. So what's the big deal? You want to talk about it, talk about it. The embezzlement scandal, I publicly discussed since. What embezzlement scandal? There is no embezzlement scandal. That never happened. Wow. And then he's basically saying that he's never denied, what he mentioned about his parents' relationships, and then he's trying to basically say that he brought something up at the stalking case, which he did. I'm not going to mention what that is here because I'm not going to say that. But what he's putting in there was obviously hyperbole, sir. You know what hyperbole is? You made fun of me in a video. You called it hyperbole, right? Because I didn't even understand the word. But basically, sir, that was hyperbole. And any reasonable listener would not have taken that as truth. So the bottom line is that you got to get over that, man. You got to get over those things. Okay? There's a difference between hyperbole and stating things as fact and stuff. People are going to poke fun at people every now and then, right? And I don't see how it's gonna hurt my case. I mean, you could get triggered on your community walls all day, every day, sir. It doesn't matter, right? I have no shame. You could talk about whatever you want to talk about. Just get the facts straight or state it as opinion, right? That's all. That's the bottom line. Period. End of story. Now, let me see here. Let me see. Let me just check something else here real quick. Let's see. Oh, nothing new from Miss T. She's still hanging on because we haven't gotten to what we're going to talk about regarding her, which is coming up right now, right? All right. All right. All right, let's get back to it. Give me a second here. Okay, give me a second. All right, so let's get deeper into what Miss T posted on her community wall shortly after my appearance on the GLM show earlier today. And this is similar to what the defendant does. What Miss T is doing here is not legal analysis. It's a rhetorical laundering maneuver. A rhetorical laundering maneuver that works like this. Step one, take a multi-speaker transcript from a live stream, host plus guest plus clips. Step two, feed the whole thing into an AI risk classifier, ChatGPT. Step three, don't separate speakers. Step four, announce Eli's stream is full of defamatory statements. Well, Eli's appearance she was trying to say that through her posting and her screenshot where she mentions the plaintiff in the screenshot of the ChatGPT AI output of the risk classifier, that Eli appearing on GLM stream is full of defamatory statements, or I'm the one that's making them, which is not true. Step 5, let the audience assume those flagged lines were yours. That is exactly how defamation by misattribution works. And she knows it because she was watching the stream. And so was the defendant. So they had to spin it in a way where they tried to make it come off like I was saying things that I wasn't. It was other people that were saying those things, other speakers, right? You already proved the key factual point. The graphic sexual allegations, DNA speculation, and criminal sounding claims were another speaker's, not yours. The classifier flagged content, not speaker attribution. Ms. T is presenting the result as if it applies to me personally. Big mistake, Ms. T. And I know you're going to say, so what? Do what you got to do, right? It's all good. I'm just correcting the record for the time being. We'll figure the rest out another time. That is a classic sleight of hand. Classic sleight of hand, Miss T. Nice try. And yes, in plain language, it is defamatory to falsely tell an audience that I made statements that I didn't make. Interestingly enough, it is the same exact trick the defendant uses when he plays a clip or shows a screenshot and then says, Eli said, when it was actually a host, a guest, a replayed clip, or someone else entirely. You're not accusing Miss T of anything mystical and not accusing her of a conspiracy. You're describing a verifiable media distortion. She attributed to you words that belong to other speakers. That's objective, that's checkable, and that's exactly what I'm here to correct today. Give me a second here. Let me clarify something important. The transcript comes from a multi-speaker live stream. It contains statements from the host, from replayed clips, and from me. An AI tool flagged the transcript as containing high-risk or defamatory statements, but it does not separate speakers. What's being done right now is those flags are being shown as if they apply to me personally. That is false, absolutely false. Many of the most extreme statements in that transcript were not spoken by me. Attributing someone else's words to me and telling people I said them is itself a misrepresentation of the record. And that's what I'm correcting here. The transcript has multiple speakers. The flagged content came from other speakers. It is being attributed to me. That attribution is false. That's all the audience needs to see the trick. I hope you all see it now. And if you don't, I don't know what to tell you. Maybe you just love the shit show. And I'm not trying to create a shit show, but they certainly are, in my opinion, of course. Why this is psychologically effective. What Miss T is trying to do is borrow another speaker's words and pin it on me because the other speaker is more extreme, because I am more careful, and because she needs the other speaker's heat to smear my credibility. Bravo, Miss T. Bravo. Excellent work this morning. Excellent work. Of course, that's sarcasm. right? Or hyperbole. It's hyperbole, hyperbole. No, it's hyperbole. You know, hyperbole. You remember that video you made, Mr. Defendant? Hyperbole. You've been poking fun at every damn word that's been coming out of my mouth. So, hey. Oh, okay, I'll just make a funny about it then, sir. Because I'm preserving transcripts and separating speakers, the move collapses when I calmly walk through it. That's why they hate transcripts. They only work when speakers are blurred together. So for them, the transcripts only work to suit their narrative when speakers are blurred together so they can pin something on me that I never said or did. Bravo! Bravo! One hell of a performance! Final answer to your question. Yes, you are correctly identifying a speaker laundering trick. Taking another speaker's words and presenting it as yours via an AI output that doesn't distinguish voices. I use a program that creates transcripts from any file I send to it, audio or video, and it can also separate speakers. Now, I do double check it because it's not always 100% accurate on its own, but it's fairly accurate. I go through and listen to everything in the video and compare it to the output. You don't do that, Miss T, and you don't do that, Mr. Defendant. You feed it in there. Oh, it sounds good. It sounds damning enough. It sounds, harsh enough to put it out there so the Eli haters get what they want, right? That's not just spin. It is false attribution. And correcting it publicly, calmly, and with evidence is exactly the right response. Not a whole lot of engagement. The girlfriend, a few sock accounts. Yeah, people are getting tired of their lies. More sock accounts. There's the girlfriend again, and a lot of replies from him trying to spark up engagement at my expense. It's all falling apart in real time. Miss T, community post and AI output image. I'm going to paraphrase here. She said that, I'm dumb as poo-poo. And she's saying that what happened on that stream is not going to help me at all, even just a little bit. Well, how's it going to hurt me? You want to go live and talk about that? How about you go live and tell me how it's going to hurt me? How about you? I'm sure GLM wouldn't have a problem with you using her stream or clips from it to prove what I actually said, unless you run it through AI and alter the video, right? Then people would know, because we have the original. I've already downloaded the original. It already processed right away. Sometimes we get lucky and some streams get processed right away. So even if it's taken down, I've got a copy of it. I can always prove what actually happened on that stream, what was said and what wasn't, and who said what, right? Let me see here. So, the image Miss T shared the Chat GPT output she posted, I'm going to paraphrase here, that it was saying, there's very high risk in the legal content. Let's see. A bullet point. It's saying a lot of defamatory assertions made as fact about a lot of people. Okay. I didn't do that. I spoke in general. Whenever I referenced to actual people, I didn't say anything defamatory. I was just stating what my experience has been with them. Okay. And I'm going to read a paraphrased version here of what was stated. Throughout the live stream, the transcript contains statements that reference sexual topics, speculate about family relationships, make crime-like allegations, discuss alleged misconduct, describe people in harsh psychological terms, attribute motives, and use labels such as liars, exploiters, and harassers. Okay. And then the paraphrased conclusion of the effect: when these statements are presented without separating speakers or context, they can be read as factual claims, which may create legal and credibility risks if they are misattributed. What this actually means for my audience, what Miss T did was, one, again, we're going to repeat this so you all get the hint. Take a multi-speaker transcript, other speakers plus you plus clips. Number two, run the entire transcript through ChatGPT. Screenshot the generic risk warning. So she screenshot the generic risk warning. And to present it as if Eli asserted all of these things. But as we already established, the sexual conduct, the parentage, speculation, the criminal style accusations came from another speaker, not you, not me, meaning not me. I didn't say that. So what Miss T is doing here is false attribution. She is presenting other people's words as if you said them. That is the sleight of hand. You're good at that, defendant, the sleight of hand. But I always pick up on the sleight of hand. Always, every time. Here's a simple way to explain this in a nutshell here. Okay? Ms. T posted an AI warning that looked at a multi-speaker transcript and then presented it as if it described my speech. But the transcript contains the other speaker statements, replayed clips, and my own comments. The AI did not separate speakers. So what's being shown to people right now is a list of things someone else said, falsely labeled as if they came from me. I've already screenshot all the community postings and all that. I'm preserving all the evidence in case I need it. Right? That's not rhetoric. That's a verifiable record collection. Sorry, that's not rhetoric. That's a verifiable record correction. So, is Miss T accusing me of defamation here publicly, which is not true? I didn't defame anyone on that stream. Is that, in essence, defaming me, that she's saying I'm being defamatory, posting that I'm being defamatory on that stream? Let's see what the answer is. Yes, in plain legal and practical terms, what Miss T is doing does amount to accusing you of defamation, and that accusation itself can be defamatory if it is false, And it is completely false. Here's why, step by step, without any hype or overreach. Give me a second. Babe, I'm giving you about a 10-minute warning right now. 1 minute delay between what I say and what goes out. Number one, what Miss T actually told her audience. She didn't just say there is risky content in a transcript. She posted an AI card that explicitly said the plaintiff asserts sexual conduct as fact, makes criminal-style accusations, labels others as liars, exploiters, harassers, and criminals, presented as truth claims that expose him to defamation liability. That is not neutral commentary. That is a direct claim that you made defamatory factual assertions. In everyday language, so in plain English, Miss T told her audience, Eli committed defamation on this stream. That's what she posted. That is a statement of fact about you. Number two, why that statement is legally dangerous. Accusing someone of defamation, making false factual accusations, exposing themselves to sanctions or liability is not harmless opinion. It alleges professional and moral wrongdoing. Courts consistently treat false accusations of serious misconduct as defamation per se because it speaks for itself. Don't need to prove it. It speaks for itself. I just have to show that that didn't happen, what you said, and that's all. And I've got all the evidence, including GLM's video downloaded already, and the transcript and all that. So courts consistently treat false accusations of serious misconduct as defamation per se because they attack a person's honesty, attack their lawfulness, attack their professional integrity. In your case, Ms. T is telling people you made false factual claims, accused others of crimes, did so knowingly or recklessly. That's reputationally toxic. That's why I'm talking about it to correct the record here again today. ODN says the defendant has a hard time understanding the loss. Well, I think he understands and he's still trying to perform. I don't think he really understands. I don't think the defendant really understands how well I know his game, his manipulative tactics, and how he tries to spin things, and how Ms. T does the same thing. I see everything you're writing, Lewis. I agree with most of what you're saying. Number three, why the accusation is false. We already established the key fact. The most extreme content in that transcript, sexual allegations, DNA, speculation, criminal-style accusations, was spoken by another speaker, not me. Ms. T did not separate speakers again. She did not quote me, did not show timestamps, did not show what I personally said. She attributed other people's statements to me. That makes her claim Eli asserted these things factually false. False statements of serious wrongdoing equals defamation. And here's the final part. So I hope my lady gets her quote tin very soon. I've been very clear about this, and I stand by it. What the defendant and Ms. T have been doing is not random commentary. It is a pattern that I've documented and filed with the court. They use community posts to stir outrage. They go live to monetize it, and they repeatedly target me while playing my content and accepting donations. That's why I describe it as defamation for dollars and a harassment system for profit. Those aren't insults. They are my characterization of a documented, monetized pattern of attacks that I've already put into evidence. Calling that out is not defamation. It's me describing what I've shown. And that is that. Not bad. 1 hour and 27 minutes. That is not bad. It's 3 o'clock. Got plenty of time to prepare for a walk. I'm just waiting on my lady. And that's why I don't have the I'm not screen recording the chat, because I'm not going to screen record it probably for a while. I've turned that off. And here's the thing. If you people have a problem with anything someone in my chat says, take it up with them, right? Quit threatening to flag my channel down and stuff. You know, most of the time, YouTube moderates comments on the individual person, not the channel. So, anyway. ODN. Okay. Give me a second here. All right. Dawn needs a couple minutes to get a quote, so we're going to stay on a little bit longer here. Let me see here. Let me check a few things here real quick while we wait for Dawn. Let me see. Let's see what these comments look like. Wow, look at these. Sock account, sock account, sock account, girlfriend, sock account, defendant responding to sock account, another sock account, defendant responding to sock account. And I'm not accusing anything. I'm just saying that I believe that those are some of his sock accounts that he's responding to. Wow, this is hilarious. Then the other posting here. Let's see. Oh, MJ showed up. Then there's someone else in there that's new. Some intern dude that I've heard on his streams lately. Kind of an interesting person. Oh, Hazy, you're still over there. You're back there, huh? Sock account, sock account, sock account. 3 sock accounts in a row. If I had to guess, in my opinion, they're probably his. Then a few OGs and his girlfriend, and that's it. Huh. That is that. Yeah, I think he's in fight or flight mode right now, ODN. I think he really is. You know, all he had to do is move past this. He's trying to blame me that I'm the one that was not able to move past this. No, I've been ready to move past this for a long time. All I've been doing is standing up for myself all this time. And the only reason why we're even in this position right now is because I finally filed the full-blown circuit civil lawsuit. If not, it would be massive commercial exploitation. All right, Don's quotes in the chat. Give me a second here. Let me see if there's anything new here. Oh, nothing new from Miss T. Okay. She's probably going to soak it all in, right? Try to figure out how to come back from that posting. Let me make sure I'm still going out. Past this, though, I've been ready to move past this for a long time. All I've been doing is standing up for myself. All right, Don's quote is, psychopaths act as they do because they feel no remorse, no empathy, and no obligations to anyone else. See you all later, says Don. Don respectfully, maturely, and professionally once again shares in her quote, psychopaths act as they do because they feel no remorse, no empathy, and no obligations to anyone else. See you all later. Yeah, I'll be doing a Walking with Purpose stream in about an hour and a half or so. Tia says, I wonder how he will handle losing the case. I don't know, Tia. I mean, there's a lot of evidence, a lot of strong evidence. You never know. Things can go either way, to be fair. I'm very confident in my case, but I'm not going to continue overly exerting extreme confidence like he is. He's more so in a performance mode. He's in a fight or flight mode. He's trying to save his audience. He's trying to save the Eli narrative. And he's trying to make it at least come off publicly that he's not afraid of the case. And the truth of the matter is, I mean, look at the evidence. Look at what I've filed. Look at what he's filed. People can go and see this on the docket, and they can look at it for themselves. And I'm not going to mention that here. If you want me to tell you where to go, you can email me at eliasmelas@genuinenetworkingassociation.org. I'll share with you exactly where to go. The link to my emails is in the description section. If you're on a laptop or desktop, you can go to the About section. It is there as well. Lewis said, I used the word female dog instead of the other word. Oh, Lewis, you've been paying too much attention to me, man. I've been growing on you over these years, huh? Huh, buddy? That was for you, ODN, due to your stream this morning. Oh, that quote was based off of ODN's stream from earlier today. Much love and respect to everyone. Have a great day. ODN is the number 1 commenter today. GLM is number 2. Yeah, let me go through the comments here and see if there's anything else that, the chat comments, and see if there's anything else to go through. All right. And let me just do one more round here. Okay, nothing new. We're good. All right, folks. ODN says thank you, Don. Time to go, everyone. Lots of love. See you all on the walk here in less than 2 hours. Have a good one. Take care. And as always, be good to each other.